All right, good evening, everybody. This is the Town of Fairfield Conservation Commission for May 21st. Lucas Thomas, Richard Boucher, Peter Hood, Peter Mahoney, Ted Luxinger, Heather Rosenthal, and then Sandra are here. Let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Play ball. There we go. All right, so appointment of alternates. So we have both Diane and Heather. Good, right? And number 4, approval of the draft meeting minutes, Conservation Commission meeting of April 23rd, 2025. Any comments, correction, or anything from any commissioners? Looks good. Okay. Any motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Chief makes a motion to approve
I'll second.
and Rick seconds. Very good. All in favor? Aye. Okay, that's all around. 5 new business, starting with number 1. Welcome attendees from the FPS Senior Experience Program. Fairfield Public Schools, I'm assuming, Senior Experience Program?
Yes, is there anyone online?
I think we froze them out this morning.
No surprise.
At River Lab.
Oh.
They're doing the Mill River estuary, 7th grade estuary trip, and it was quite cold. So, they said they were coming still, but.
All right, well,
Getting warm. Sorry.
Teacher.
I don't know. What we can do then is, let's just skip it.
Yeah.
If people show up, we'll redo it again. And if not, all right, we'll see what happens when we get there. All right, number 2, release of department's quarterly newsletter, which I saw. Well, that was great.
It was great.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first volume 1 released, and we're gonna do that quarterly until we run out of content. But it was,
That'll happen.
Yeah.
We'll keep Kane more. That's not a problem.
You guys are so busy that that's just, don't talk that way. That's silly. You're never gonna run out of
I'm just
content.
kidding. It's just kind of, like I said, a highlight reel of kind of the major stuff. Obviously, we, in 3 months, what we would capture if we included everything isn't possible, but as of today, the town's webmaster put in as an option to link it. I had the conversation about ways to distribute it, either like a Constant Contact or a MailChimp type of thing. For now, in the immediate future, as of today, when you do your sign up on our department homepage for alerts for minutes or agendas or whatever you want, you now have that option to click for the quarterly newsletter. So when it does come out, it'll send out that notice.
Oh, that's
I mean, obviously you guys will have it and you'll get it from us, but as far as the public goes, that'll be an option. I don't think we have a ton of subscribers as far as the email alerts, but at least it's a start for now.
That's a great start.
I thought the word I was gonna use is breezy. Why is it breezy? Because it's
Sure.
it reads fast, but it's not nothing. You know, there's a balance you gotta make between being, I don't wanna dumb it down, but it's also not dense, and so breezy is the word I'm picking.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I just have one
Yeah.
comment on that. I was reading that or something else that you put out and it said, I think it was like Mill Hollow OS something or other. And I thought, what is that? And then I realized it's open space, but I think the general public probably doesn't know that.
Oh,
So maybe you could spell it out,
Have a
just
legend.
to make sure people understand what you're talking about.
That could be a whole column on its own. Just what are the words that are used
Yeah.
in describing? I mean, 3-4 years ago, I didn't know what a vernal anything.
Yeah.
So that something like that would be great. Word of the month. What are the
Like
quarter?
that.
We said that,
You know?
You know, do you know what the word crepuscular means?
Absolutely not.
Wait,
Good.
wait, say that again.
Crepuscular.
Right, and then what? Last year was the hydro something.
That's a
with-
Tim word.
Yeah.
It was, and the way I found it online, it was backwards from the
I
way we
love
were
that.
talking about it here. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. What the
Yes, you
word?
do. Yes, you do.
What are we using?
very good.
Alright. So, all the more why we have Tim and our folks on the staff to help us with all of this stuff. All right. Number 3, establishment of a commission subcommittee to collaborate with the Flood Prevention, Climate Resilience and Erosion Control Board. Okay. Tim, what's this about? Is that?
Was somewhat of an indirect request or recommendation from the former Flood and Erosion Control Board, now much longer name, to collaborate, and I don't really have many more details than that, other than as it relates to their master plan.
Okay.
That's in draft, so if the commission wants to liaise with them and provide input similar to what the commission's doing now with P O C D, then, yeah, I just put that on there for discussion to,
Okay.
doesn't necessarily have to be established tonight, but if we wanted to discuss it and if anyone's wants to participate.
Any comments, any thoughts, commissioners?
I have a comment. I think it would be great if they came and presented a 10-minute presentation to us as to what some of the opportunities, requirements would be.
Okay. I could make that
I know
request.
of the group, but quite frankly, I'm not well versed in what they do or what they're hoping to do.
Okay.
Are they a body that if somebody comes before us for an inland wetlands application, do they also have to go to them for something? No. Okay, all right.
There is some overlap as far as water courses, and open space as it relates to what they're trying to do with their master plan. So that's why I think there is a connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That, the commission might want to provide input.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, see if somebody will come and let us know what they're doing and, we could.
easy
Yeah.
enough.
I gone to one
Yes.
of their meetings, like
Oh,
one of their
okay.
master plan meetings, and the public came, and it's really involved. I mean, like, what they're trying to accomplish as a volunteer body for the town is complicated, and I think it would it's like over my head. I mean, like, it's like this kind of water management, it was pretty serious. I was like, if that does get accepted, it's complicated how it relates, and Tim, maybe you understand, like, I thought, the meeting that I went to for selectmen was supposed to be there and introduce it or like give some kind of a blessing toward it, and I think he got called away and wasn't there, and so I'm not understanding exactly how it fits in, like, as far as, like, what kind of authority they have. I know that was something you just asked, but they're dealing with really big town issues as far as like flooding is concerned, and so it's like, I don't know,
They have to interface
It's-
with MetroCog as well,
yeah.
because we're a part of that.
Their jurisdiction also includes freshwater riverine systems and tidal, so all aspects of water management from uptown and downtown kind of collide, and part of, I think, what they're also trying to do is look at from the resiliency side, coastal resiliency side, is Circa's projection that I've seen showing potential inundation from coastal waters up to basically Post Road by 2050. So that means billions of dollars in real estate will be underwater, or potentially underwater up to Post Road.
Yeah.
So that's gonna change this town. Could change the town quite a bit.
You know,
Includes our open spaces, so.
I've gone to meetings in the past, as a board member from Real River, I would go and see, it's very complicated, and it can be it's gonna be very difficult in that everybody kind of wants their own thing. So like the beach really feels that they are the priority and so it's, I could see like why the more voices, the better.
Okay.
So Rick, it sounds like your idea is well placed.
Yeah, I'd like to, it's a big word, a lot of responsibility, a lot of potential issues that could change. So sure, we'd love to meet him.
Okay.
But in any
And-
event,
and
yeah,
wasn't the man that came, I'm sorry, Peter.
it's like land acquisition. We just need to be kind of closer connected than sometimes we
Yeah.
feel we are. Now, we're connected with them now. We've gone to a few meetings and
Right.
I'm saying that's just something that we should be doing anyways.
I agree, you know, and the man that came and spoke, I can't remember his name, Tim.
Oh,
And
yeah, was he part of it?
he was part of that, and he does, what is his job, his top title in Milford? That's what he does.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, he's a town engineer.
Yeah.
Did
City
he
of
come for
Milford.
this board in front of us or for
Yes.
something
It was
else?
a while, it was a while ago.
He came kind of to introduce himself to say that they will be working on this project and yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then, I guess at the same time, kind of say, apologize that we know that he came, but maybe he can come with some more specific
Right,
information.
Okay.
So it's not like, thanks for coming the last time, but now there's more.
Yeah.
So that okay?
And they've been working on this plan, like I think if they could present that, I mean, like what they have in their direction, like how it fits into the town master plan, cause that's complicated, if there is. a town.
You know, that certainly sounds like something this commission should be involved with.
Yeah.
Certainly, we should know better what their mission is, but we should probably have a word or at least some involvement in where they're headed. So I think it's great. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank
I'll
you.
send that up for next month.
All right.
So,
Yes.
Have we been asked to participate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been asked and Commissioner Boucher said, let's see if you could come in and give us some more information and I'm sure we will. It sounds interesting.
I think that's a good way forward, is to have them give us an overview and then we can determine
Yeah.
what's the best way to engage.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, they already came once with, and I do recall this very
I think
overview of what we might be doing kind of thing. Now, if it's more specific, well, that'd be better.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, moving on, Roman numeral 6. Old business number 1 is an update. Mr. River.
Last week I went before Board of Selectmen and received approval. Monday night I went before RTM. And that is contingent on Board of Finance's approval. I think, when was that, tonight?
No,
Uh,
not sure when it.
soon. They actually vote and then RTM will vote again next week. So
Okay.
that's moving forward, but getting support as expected.
Good.
Well received by all the boards I went before, so.
Excellent. Number 2 is an update on the improvements at Mill Hollow Open Space. There we go. Diane?
I was out there today actually with Sarah, walking around. Things are still growing. Not seeing any damage, by deer browse. Heather and I spoke about it briefly that, I'm not seeing the, meadow generation from the seeds that we planted right now. The lawn seems to be really establishing. Which wasn't the vision. But the plugs that staff and Heather installed are still doing good. So I think we'll see how it goes, but I don't see any, vandalism or people are ripping down the fence to get in or so work's ongoing there and still successful at this point.
Very
If
good.
you find a stash of Hug-A-Tree signs, let me know where they are.
Okay.
About half of those.
Oh, really?
Did you really?
That's where Instagram
They're
really
in
is
the
good.
basement of fraternities at.
See that.
Yeah, you might be right on. you know.
Yeah, cause they were cute signs.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3 is an update on Jennings Beach enclosure for beach needlegrass, Aristida tuberculosa.
There is, I guess, a couple months ago, I had a call with one of this DEP botanists and Lauren Brown from Native Plant Trust. It's been ongoing. I've talked about it before. But to prevent rabbit browse, and probably to some extent deer browse, in Jennings Beach Dune of our rare beach needlegrass, staff, Tom and the crew installed an enclosure with a combination of chicken wire and dune fence. It's roughly, what do we use? 300?
270 feet.
270 linear feet of fencing, plus burying it about 1.5 feet into the sand to prevent any woodchucks or rabbits digging under the fence. That's enclosed. I had a email correspondence with Lauren and Bill. When was that? Monday, I think. And we're gonna schedule another site visit, so they were pleased. Again, the 2 locations that we have this documented is in the dune, and then a smaller enclosure near the kayak racks actually in the sand where the boats are parked
Okay.
on the sand. So successful so far. We'll see. The grass should be sprouting out in the next month or so. So
Tim,
We
I
shall
can't
see.
remember, is there signage to say why? There is.
yeah, there's a sign at each location saying protected habitat for rare species. We don't get into it. It's just kind of generic, but there is sign. I mean, the one in the dune you most probably would really have to look for. And it's part of the reason why we use the the dune fence. Wanted to accrete windblown sand, but also fits in with the landscape a little more. It's not a 10-foot atrocious fence or bright orange like Mill Hollow. So it should be effective, but yeah, there is a sign at each.
I did have a quick question. I was curious. I hadn't seen this type of grass before, and so I wanted to go see it. It looked like some of it actually is maybe being covered by some of those kayaks. Like, how much protection are we trying to do? Are we just trying to like experiment
There's a
or?
couple grasses that look almost identical.
Okay.
Yeah, and
They're small. I mean,
yeah, they only get really
yeah.
about this high.
Mhm.
But there's 2 other species that every time we're out there together,
Okay.
you're like, oh, I think I found some, and we all look at it and decide that it's not, because it's so close. So, yeah, there are, there are those locations physically under the kayak racks, or the
And like-
catamarans that
Yeah,
look
exactly.
like the
Like
grass, but it's not.
some little boats were on top of the grass, but it's not that grass, so that's
It's not,
good.
yeah.
Any other comments, questions, commissioners? All right, moving on to number 4, update on 150 Villa Avenue Trails Grant.
Mentioned before that the project approved by the Inland Wetland Agency for the town engineering department's Rooster River Stormwater Detention Project has been on pause, which has delayed our trails project to utilize the grant. I've met recently with the administration, and they are confident that it is going to move forward. There is a delay with the engineering project, which no surprise is pushing back our trails project. There may be an opportunity to combine them both, do it all in one, which might be more efficient, but it sounds like everyone still supports and wants to move forward with the trail at 150 Village.
Still because of the neighbor, somebody that.
Yeah, there was some
infrastructure.
unhappy adjacent residents.
Yeah. Okay.
but it's supposed to move forward, so
See,
we'll see. Definitely not dead, whether engineering's project move forward or not. The town in general, does want to move forward with the trail, so.
trails.
How long does a grant have to run?
I've had a meeting with, the grants manager and, we've been corresponding with DEP, Kim Bradley over, who's the Deep's, administrator for the Trails Grant. So they recognize that we are.
Yeah.
I don't say behind because other towns are in similar logistic issues, on the calendar, but they're trying to work that out so we don't time out as far as accepting the money and running out of time, so.
Very good. Any other questions or comments, commissioners on that? Nope. Moving on to open space land acquisitions, number 140 Limerick Road. 1.56 acres. Nice.
This is one the commission's heard before and approved. The only reason why it's on here now, several months later, is because it just took long enough to get through all the other boards. And we did take title to it, so. Now it's actually formal and we own it. It's a small triangle piece off of Mill Plain Road.
Congratulations.
Public access from two sides and it's more, probably 2/3 wet inland wetlands, so.
Very good. And number 2 is the current acquisition frequency rate of 2.59 months of parcel. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. 8, bills and communications, there's nothing there, and 9 is legal enforcement actions, all of them which are continuations, and number 1 is continued 1240 West North Turnpike, unauthorized encroachment on town open space via exclusionary chain and signage. Same one that we saw.
This was the same issue. Nicole went out recently to verify, as did Commissioner Hood. Based on what we see, I think I need to meet with the property owner. And have them have more of a in-person discussion. It looks like some of it was moved based on the NOV, but I'm not sure it's totally accurate yet.
Okay.
So I haven't seen it myself, but
Okay.
Looks like they're following an old wall.
The stone
that-
walls,
which
yeah.
Isn't really very meaningful.
Yeah.
part of the boundary with the wall was consistent with what we see on GIS, but I think then it takes a jog or a dive.
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
like-
that mostly ex-farming a long time ago, and those are,
Yeah,
you can't really
yeah.
go by
It
that.
does, like you said, it goes by the GIS on our thing, but it's like, it's not even the right length. It's still too long. And it doesn't even quarter off the whole property. It's just kind of bordering the side, but it's not the right, it still goes into town property.
Okay.
Number nearsighted.
Number 2 is 30 Laurel Brook Lane, unauthorized encroachment damages and
I actually don't have any update for this one.
All right, well, next one.
Ongoing.
Yeah, just keep it going. And number 3 is 120 Wakeman Lane, discussion related to conservation easement. Same thing.
Same thing, again, what I mentioned at the last agency meeting was, we'll be having the agency will be in receipt of a memo from the town attorney. And we'll host an executive session at the June 4th meeting.
Okay. Good. Yes.
Should we back up a little to Laurel Brook? I mean, this goes back to the fall.
Mhm.
So what's the holdup on this one?
Right now, really permitting.
Is
On
it
the wetlands
that they
side.
haven't submitted the appropriate material to you?
Yeah, I would have to check with Sarah, but I believe so. We'll follow up with them
Okay.
tomorrow.
Any other questions, comments, commissioners on any of them? No? Okay. All right, 10 is staff reports. Number 1 is seasonal staff. So we getting those lined up?
Yes, one's already started and we'll have a total of 4 this year. 3 of them are returning for their third summer, so it's helpful and be efficient with seasoned seasonals.
Yes.
And they're all good kids, college kids, so.
Nice. Number 2, Save the Sound Unified Water Study.
Every year, the department receives a grant from Save the Sound, who's funded by EPA, to do some offshore water quality sampling. And that begins in May and goes through Halloween. Tom spearheads that, and Nicole will get involved with data entry this year. We are taking on some other assistance from another, I want to say student, but another seasonal or part-time employee who's very well knowledgeable on the marine side to help out. And you have anything you want to say about getting out in the water?
No, we do it every other week. We go out at 6 a.m. And it's I want to say a 2-day process, because one day you have to calibrate the sonde. Next day you go out and actually take the measurements. So it works out well. And it's a total of 5 hours total for the 2 days. So works out good.
Okay.
You do get grant money from Save the Sound.
Yeah.
That's about a little less than $10,000 every year.
Okay.
Do the work, cover the work.
Okay.
But didn't they just publish a report?
Yeah, that's the beach report. That's different.
How is that different?
Because that has to do with beach quality, not offshore quality.
So
They're
how
totally-
far
they're totally two
offshore
different-
is offshore? Like, how far out?
We're out in Southport Harbor.
Okay.
This is actual like
So
onshore.
you're
beaches.
offshore?
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that our beaches didn't fare well this year. None of them in their report.
Yeah, and that falls to Parks and Rec and Health Department.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar but different, and totally 2 different funded projects.
Okay. So once the study is completed, it's every year. What, is it just to get the information, or is anything
Yeah,
done with it?
they have a couple decades worth of data,
Okay.
and they, similar to the beach study that Commissioner Saunders mentioned, is they issue a grade, a report card, like A through F, basically. And in the past, ours have been pretty good, Bs, and I think C maybe. We got a
It's
C.
been pretty much, well, C+,
Yeah.
according to them. And
We've had As, but
yeah, we did when we originally started. But just to give you a familiarization, we started Tide Mill Landing. That's our first stop on Harbor Road. Our second stop then we go down on the boat. We go halfway between there and pretty much Perry's Green, where the boats are docked. Take a sample there, Perry's Green, and then where the last boat is docked or moored at the mouth of the harbor, that's our last stop. Those are the sample areas that we take. Just so you're familiar with it.
So Diane, would that mean that the beach, in a way with your question, or a question like the beach being different than what they're doing? Would that be a question worth just thinking about? I mean, you're saying the beaches
Well-
didn't do well, and I'm just
Right,
curious. if
but,
there would be
but
different-
Tim's correct. It's more the,
Two different.
it's the purview of the health department and Parks and Rec. But I track this every year, and last year we did really well for the most part. So, I mean, I talk to people at Save the Sound, and they generally do, every year they do a webinar where they explain all the results. So I'll try to attend that and find out, well, what is the difference?
Yeah.
Cause it just seems like, what was it, Sasko Beach got a D minus.
Yeah.
You can't really do worse than that, so,
But in twenty-three, it had an A plus. so
right,
Is that
right,
it
so.
Fluctuates and one of the biggest factors, especially with E. coli, the main bacteria sample is rainfall.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of rain, you get a lot more bacteria and you get a worse grade, so.
Yeah.
And this, and that's probably where there is overlap between what we're doing in the harbor and offshore versus basically onshore beaches, the rain, all the water from the whole watershed's going through both.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna have that bacteria flux too. And as well as, first flush timing of wastewater treatment plants and storm sewer really.
Yeah.
Discharging, so,
Hard to say.
and temperature is one of their factors, there's a whole bunch of criteria, so.
Gotcha.
I'd be curious to see if you could plot the grades on a graph over 20 years between the beach grade and our, UWS grade and how those, would you see a similar trend?
Kind of what I was,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
but some people here can articulate things where I clearly cannot.
Not true, not
Okay.
true.
I need support, you know?
That's what we're.
I know, I'm learning
Do you
something
just
here.
talk to Save the Sound like once a year when you guys start the project, or you are in contact with
It's-
them every so often?
It's regular contact.
Can you ask them if they maybe do have that? Maybe they have plotted it out.
Yeah, we could ask.
They're actually coming down next Wednesday. We have to do an audit, what they call an audit.
Okay,
They have to make sure we know what we're doing, calibrating the sound.
sure.
And Elena, I believe her name is.
Mhm.
She's coming down between 9 and 11 at the workshop. Charlotte, who's our part-timer, will be there. She does the calibrations. She's a whiz. Love that girl. She's awesome. And she's gonna be there. And so I'll ask them.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Any other questions or comments, commissioners? All right, number 3 is the Eagle Scout Boardwalk Replacement Project at Lake Mohegan. Yay. That's it. All right, I like it.
Heard something down there. What's
Great,
going on?
great upgrade, and I can see all the invasives much more clearly.
Go Tech.
As I walk, but it's very nice, nice and wide and stable, I love it.
This was completed off, as you drive into the main parking lot, the yellow trail to the right. There's a section of a boardwalk that we upgraded. That's a pretty wet section. Tom was out there with the crew on Saturday, was it a couple Saturdays ago? Yes. Couple Saturdays ago. Did a great job, so.
It's wonderful.
That's great. Want to thank the Eagle Scouts that did it. I'm not sure if there's a particular troop number. If there is, congratulations and thank you for doing it. It's good to see them do these things,
Looks great.
Wonderful.
And wide.
And they did it in the rain.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, both weekends.
Oh, wow. That's dedication. That's good. Nice.
Toughen them up.
Yeah, there you go. Number 4, again with Eagle Scouts again, the Cedar Bench Project. Education Station, Sturgis Road, scheduled for May 24th and the 31st. That's nice. What's that?
This Saturday, next Saturday, Eagle Scout will be working with staff and the crew to install multi-bench, call it an amphitheater, in behind the education station, to maintain its rustic cabin feel. The crew ripped whole cedar trees in half, flip them upside down to create the benches, and that's Eagle Scout's gonna create an area that will hold about 40 kids for outdoor instruction or lecture
Yeah.
in the back. It'll be kind of bordered by wood and wood chips. And it'll be they're ready to go. So that starts this weekend.
Very nice.
The guys are doing a great job prepping and gathering materials and I mean, if everyone knows what cedar looks like when it's cut, it's not only smells good, but it has amazing color. So
Yeah.
you're gonna see that color to sit on, instead of ugly pressure treated
Right.
lumber or, picnic table type stuff that's gonna rot. The cedar should last, be sturdy and look pretty cool. So.
It
And
kills
this,
insects too, doesn't it?
Does,
Yes.
Cedar?
and that's something we
Side
had on
benefit
our
there?
own open space where we bought it and we did it. How did-
This has been stockpiled behind the workshop for a long time. Instead, it's well seasoned,
It's
but
been aging, that's right.
yeah, it's like an oak barrel.
As soon as you rip it, though, it looks brand new.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We
Okay.
ripped it, we planed it, we sanded it for the kids, so, this way it's nice and smooth.
Yeah.
The area is 24 by 36,
That's
gonna be
pretty
outlined
neat.
with 6 by
Nice
6s,
size.
Yeah,
so it's a good size.
that's great. Oh, good.
I just want to say thank you though, too. It's really nice to, this is a great both of those are great projects and working on the weekends to accommodate the Eagle Scouts, schedules.
Yes.
Really nice of you all.
Yeah, we try and
You
do it when they're off for the summer during the week. But that doesn't work year round, so.
Yeah.
Saturday overtime for the crew.
it's really.
Well, thank you, Tom, for you and the crew for doing it too.
Now, if we could teach them how to weed.
Yeah, right. All right, number 5, department staff bird walk on May 16th, 2025.
I'll let Nicole, give a quick one on that.
Yeah, well, I want to give a shout out and thank you to the commissioners who attended, Diane and Peter, and Rick came. Rick came with his binoculars for 5 minutes and then it's like.
Really?
I appreciate you showing up. I was like honestly not expecting it. I was like, oh my God, because I don't know, I didn't know what to expect. And then we had one other gentleman attend who actually is from Norwalk.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
And we were asking him, how'd you find out? And he pulled up the post on Instagram.
there you go.
But it was shared via Parks and Rec. So we still, because Parks and Rec reshared our flyer, we still gotta get a reach. We're almost at 200 followers, by the way, which is pretty good.
Didn't have a connection to the Westport, what was the?
Earth Place, I think.
Oh, yeah,
That's
Earth
what
Place
he
too.
said.
Yeah.
So we were talking, I'm sorry to take that away.
Yeah, it's, I mean, if you're on Instagram, sometimes when you are scrolling, you get random pages that pop up.
Yep.
So that's probably how it happened, which is the beauty of that. But it was really fun. It was really lovely. And with birding, you don't walk far. We weren't walking much because a lot of it is just stopping and looking and being quiet and seeing what comes up but we all really enjoyed it. We had the Merlin app going to identify calls. We were identifying birds that we couldn't even see, but it was very cool to have that and got to check out the bluebird boxes out there. Saw a really nice example of BLD, of beach leaf disease in there too. Which I was pointing out to the commissioners and everything, and it was just a really nice time, but afterwards, the commissioners and I were talking about like, okay, how do we get the word out more about these things?
It'll grow, I mean.
Yeah,
First, it was the
yeah.
first day of the first project, so.
Right.
it'll-
Congratulations.
yes,
Thank you.
yes,
No,
right.
it's-
All around.
It was really nice. It was fun. We have two more
Yep.
in the queue. Sal's not here, but he's up next.
Yeah.
He's the June 14th, in Springer Glen. And then Ted, you're the 24th of June. Also still looking for more walks. If anyone is willing to lead a walk, any in our open spaces, any open space that like the back of your hand, and you have any cool fun facts that about, that open space you want to share with the public, please let me know. And you can also do multiple, I would assume too. I mean,
Yep.
want to at least do this through the summer and see how it goes.
I think Dabney talked about Brett Woods.
Yeah, I've been trying to nab her down.
I did put that graphic thing I'd made and a couple of pictures on Nextdoor, and the first comment was like, oh, this is cool. How'd you find out? I'm like, this is the 3rd time this week, buddy.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we just gotta keep trying,
yeah,
but I think I think it was the graphic. It worked better than the writing, for me, anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah, having something eye-catching. And we also did,
So I'll
Peter,
work on that.
yeah, well, Peter had a great idea of putting up the flyers in the kiosks at trailheads too. Although the flyers, like, not the most eye-catching, so maybe the next round I will, for the next new walks, I'll make it more like a color pop.
Okay, so I'll tell you a story. This is kind of embarrassing and Diane would be a little bit interesting. Let's just skip the subject, but I put a post on Nextdoor on an important topic. And I had written a web page and done a really nice graphic and it was pretty catchy. And I put that out there, just the graphic and whatever, 1,000 views. Not so great, but pretty good. And so I was frustrated because it was a time element, it had to do with lilies and cats. So I had a time element. And so I literally put the same thing up again with a picture of a cat. And it was like triple, you know.
So we had to put a cat in every
Because
flag.
Well.
So now we know.
Like the
The
web
public.
SAR.
Chasing a
a
bird?
really nice
I don't
graphic
think
and
the
it.
cat and the bird
title
are
was
gonna be, that's
catchy.
what we're
They're not
going for.
friendly, no.
And I was really disappointed. It was like I wanted more because I really worked hard on it. And then I just put the same thing up with a cat, which was, there's a lot of lost cat. And it was like, you gotta go
You gotta hit the
with what the audience
heartstrings.
wants.
Internet marketing. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just, and so when I put the thing up, I wrote something like today's birding walk at, and it was like, all of a sudden I got reaction.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep trying, but the visuals are definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions on catchy visuals that are relevant.
And maybe shouting works too.
Yes.
Shouting from the dialogue, that works.
Well, I think we need, like at Lake Mohegan, I think we need a sign right at the entrance there at the parking lot where they can't fail to see it.
Yeah, well, it's like,
Couple weeks in advance at least.
yeah, it's hard because I feel like everyone at Lake Mohegan are regulars. Like when we were standing there, you can tell these people come here every day with their dog and all the things, and they're not even looking at trail maps because they don't need to. They know it like the back of their hand. But I was hoping that if it's not gonna be consistent, but it'd be nice to have a consistent, like, once a week where people see a group of people doing something on the trail together and then they're like, ooh, people are so nosy. They're gonna be like, what are those people doing? So I don't know. Hopefully,
Good idea.
just having other groups out there doing walks will catch people's eye.
And when school gets out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the other thing is, and this is a busy time of year,
Totally. And it was a Friday too. The next walks are on Saturdays, so
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be more successful.
All right, well, again, good job. Keep it up.
Excellent.
All right. Number 6 is miscellaneous reports.
Have any? No?
I didn't get the
Mm.
koi
From
update.
staff.
You didn't get what?
Koi update, did they get the koi out of the lake?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
swimming, they're healthy.
They're swimming in there.
They're fast.
That's too bad.
$100 for every
Yeah, no,
fish
I
you
was
get.
gonna,
That's a real problem. That's
Mhm.
not a minor thing.
Yeah, we
That's
did,
an
I
incredibly
know.
invasive fish.
we tried four times.
I know,
To no success. I have a price of $9,000.
ugh,
Solitude Lake Management with no guarantees in an 8-hour day.
$9,000 for an 8-hour day?
It's 6,000 the first day, 3,700 the next day.
Oh, we in the wrong industry, huh?
I've reached out to another vendor in Brookfield. They didn't get back to me. Working with a neighbor on the lake who has koi, and would like them if we were to catch them for himself, but he's reaching out through some other channels. I'm still looking. We've talked to the police department about possible firearm solutions. To no avail.
Spear gun, that didn't work.
Talked about bow.
I tried it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a handheld
Yeah.
spear.
Yeah.
So it is a problem and I don't want it to be a larger problem if they breach. So-
how,
My concern is that the public needs to know how serious a problem this is.
It's on the
Some
web- it's on the
jerk.
webpage.
Threw the fish in the lake and they're gonna end up taking over the lake.
You know, you're absolutely right, Ted, but much of the public is gonna say, isn't it nice that they're allowed to swim freely? They don't have the background that you have. They really don't.
Well,
It's
No,
also
So
the same.
Ted, what's the potential? I mean.
Well, I think we need to highlight the fact that they're invasive and
Invasive, yeah.
what we lose as a result of them taking over.
Like
Which is the
what?
nature.
How long would this take?
They're supposed to be there.
These are the same public that smash our gate.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it costs the town thousands of dollars because they can't figure it out.
I did make
Or
a
they should
post.
be in there too late.
In my experience,
That someone's gonna say, maybe. I
there's a
should-
percentage of the public you're never gonna get to.
Yeah.
There's a large percentage of the public that just doesn't know. And if you can educate them, a certain percentage of them will at least become enlightened and an advocate of your point of view.
Yeah.
And then another group that is already on your side. So it's that middle group of educating people. So I would like to see some kind of a notice come from conservation saying, this is a problem, somebody put this in. If you don't realize, how serious this is, we're alerting you to that fact.
I made a post about it on Instagram,
Yeah.
so don't dump your fish. I
Mhm.
can print that and put it on.
I
in the
put that on
PDF.
next door. I'm trying to find out how many views it got.
Yeah, and I can change the
It would be
verbiage.
Something that I put in Bill Gerber's weekly, I'd make a, have. a
And how much
notice in
it's gonna
there.
cost the potentially
Right,
to
what's
get
gonna
rid-
cost the town to fix it?
Is there a fine for doing that? Like, is there does Deep fine people for dumping? I mean, there's,
It's private property.
Yeah, it would be deep.
oh,
I've talked to Deep Fisheries about it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
private.
somebody
so-
put them in on their private property and then they migrated via the stream into the.
No, I think they were dumped. They got too big for someone's little
Right.
Japanese garden and then
Right.
like
That's
They
right.
get, they
get
get,
rid of them and.
These fish are 28 inches long.
yeah.
Wow.
They're
They get,
keepers,
they
huh?
get very large. I'm alarmed by just the fact that this happened and I think we need to be forceful in our response.
and how many do you think we have? Like a dozen?
12. Well, as of the video, there was 12. Spawning was 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks to a month ago.
Oh, boy.
All right, and to catch them, we're
Yeah.
expecting it to cost how much?
No less than 6,000.
I think those are facts that the public should be aware of. I'm sorry, I come down hard on this.
Yeah, you're much,
It's been out there. I mean,
Yeah.
the information's out there. I mean, I'm not, the next step, sure, we can ask, the first selectman to put it in his letter.
Yeah, I would just add some kind of a notice that, this is the implication of doing this.
It's gonna cost 6,000 plus the 4 days that I had 2 guys out in boats. Plus Parks and Rec out in boats,
Right.
trying to fish, net them. Tim and I were trying to net them, so.
Add that up.
That's the update.
Yeah.
Grim.
Well, I have positive fish news.
What's up?
Well, that deep event over at Springer Glen where they stocked the river there.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
That attracted quite a few people.
Yeah, that's Parks
um,
and Rec's side.
Yeah, it was fun.
I've
You
heard
know,
it's
see the little
successful, yeah.
kids and everyone was really excited about it. They brought 300 fish.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is.
And Peter, thanks
I went
again for the
last year, it was
pictures. Mhm.
Well, I'd like to commend Peter for his
Yes.
travel log.
Yeah, I know,
And
seriously.
what a great job he does.
All your pictures, like every.
All your pictures, Peter, keeping us up to date.
Yeah, you should be designated the honorary historian of the group or something. I don't know, but it's much appreciated. Just so you know, it's appreciated.
It is.
really
you mean where you were guys were out doing the things with that's.
No,
Okay.
the trout.
Next.
Oh, I
Okay.
took those pictures.
Oh, you took those
I went to
pictures?
that event, yeah.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
all
but
the
he's the
pictures-
picture taker normally.
Wonderful, yes.
All the pictures that you take are incredible and are much appreciated. And I just want to go on the record.
June 14th.
Know that.
And then
It's
June
been a
24th.
while.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Any further miscellaneous reports? Anything from anybody down there other than Tim? No? Anybody else?
I would like to throw something out on the table. We recently started supporting honeybees at Hoydens Hill, which is great. Pollinators are always a good thing. There was a little pushback on social media because there are also native bees. That are solitary bees that don't make honey. And are 98% of the bee population in North America and are endangered. So I just put in a bee house in my backyard with a company called Crown Bees
Okay.
up in Portland. And they have, I'm willing to research with Crown Bees what kind of a relationship they might be interested in entering into with the town of Fairfield to help start populating our open spaces with native bee houses, and you can actually harvest the bees when they leave the pupae, and they'll pay you for the bees that you send back to them. So I raise, right now I've got mason bees. So half of my mason bee reeds are filled with little baby bees, and I've got leafcutter bees are next. And I think, you know, honeybees are great, but they're also imported, they're not native. And I would like to see us do both. Have some kind of a program vis-a-vis native bees as well as the honeybees. So I'm happy to call Crown Bees, research that, find out what kind of programs they have available and report that back to the commission. If you guys are all right with that, or if you guys want to research it or whatever, but I'd like to see something happen with the natives.
Okay. Any
I,
thoughts?
I have something to say.
Yes.
I do think that the department actually is doing something as far as native bees by creating all these meadow habitats
Sure, absolutely.
and planting native plants. And so I think that they will, you know, build it and they will come. And
Mhm.
so I'm not sure we need to, you know, up for discussion, obviously, I'm just not sure how much we need to pay someone to come in and tell us about bees when we actually are now giving them their native habitat. And it'd be great though to have more education on that. The fact that most bees don't live in a hive, most
Right.
bees are in the ground, most bees are solitary. Like people really don't understand about the
98%.
native bee population. But I do think that they're working already on that other half of it by creating these native.
That's a
habitats.
great point, right? Because we're here to increase the habitat throughout, not just for one species or one animal or one, you know, fish or, you know, whatever it might be. And that was just a project that we thought would be great. We all like that with the bees.
Yeah.
But Heather makes a great point where it's more of a bigger project, more of a overview, a large overview to do just the plantings. That, because that's what they need. So like you said, build it and they'll come, I think is really a great point of how thinking about how the, you know, the systems all work together.
Right,
You know,
encompassing.
Well, I take your point, and I still think we should be promoting native
That's
bees
different.
from an
That's
educational
different.
standpoint.
And having education is different than
Right.
paying someone to.
Well, no, so Crown Bees provides you with the bee larvae. All right, and then they'll pay you when you return the new larvae that are created to them. They're trying to increase the overall population of native bees throughout the country. So they've got a nonprofit, they've got educational, they've got, you know, I want to research that and see
Well,
what
you can do that.
programs they've got.
Feel free to do that
And
and
put 'em in
bring some
front of the
information.
commission.
Yeah, I mean,
You
that's
guys-
just more information is never a bad thing.
You
Yeah.
could do a presentation for here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, that's, I'm interested.
I think what they're doing is very cool. And you know, that you can even get a bee brick. You can get a brick with holes drilled in it that the native bees will use to create homes that you can put it on the foundation of a building when you put a building up. Which I had no idea even existed, but
Are
very
you gonna
cool.
require that in all the new,
Well, you know, it would be
I see the
cool if
future.
Sacred Heart and Fairfield U, when they put up a new dorm, would put a couple of those bricks in to support the native bee
So
population.
for every approval on another agency in this town, there's going to be a marker and a bee brick.
There you go.
There was something I saw, I'll show you guys pictures later. In Norwalk, they have, and I showed Peter and Diane this, but they're called bug snugs. And, cause I live in like an urban area, and it was off the bike path, and it's pollinator pathway, but also I forgot the other organization, but it looks really simple. It's just like a bunch of sticks that they kind of tie together and they say like, this is for all the other, native bug populations, please leave them be. And no one's gonna go near them because no one wants to be near bugs, but it's a great way to like quickly educate people, hey, this is not like a blight or a bad thing to see, and we're helping
Well,
native
and
insects too.
I think that's great. And a lot of the rail trails.
Yes, that's where,
we
yeah.
Put up like bee hotels along the rail trails to identify the natives that are out there. And the beauty of the native bees is that they don't sting. Solitary bees don't sting because they're not protecting a hive. And people don't realize that, bees going about their business are completely harmless.
What is the status of the pollinator meadow at Gordon's Hill?
Was recently seeded. I processed the invoice for $19,000 today,
So, meaning this year, we would start,
June,
Looking
July.
to
it'll
see
be
what's growing?
exploding, yeah.
My
Cool.
third year, my middle backyard
So
is
it's
just starting
very
to.
cool.
so we, but
It's
we should
happening.
also be
Time.
like
I plant
praying
stuff
every
in
night
the
for weather. I mean,
Yeah.
we need water,
Yeah,
obviously,
Yeah,
right?
tomorrow.
It's been 2
Tomorrow.
inches.
Well, it's just that I remember it was on schedule a couple times last year and I kept waiting and then it's like, oh, geez, I'm glad they didn't do it because
So we had no.
I
it
did
was
a
like
post
it was like no water for months, like, phew,
I did a post on it on Instagram.
yeah,
You commented on it.
It's the other day.
right.
All right.
But I had to talk out loud for the.
Just circling,
It's my yacht.
just circling back to new business, room numeral 5, number 1, welcoming attendees from the River Public Schools Senior Program. Is there something we can talk about briefly about and then just have it on the record, or?
I don't have any information on it other than they may have attended in public.
We have,
Why don't you come in your name and at least give us something, so I didn't wanna. Yeah.
David McInnes, I'm the volunteer with the Mill River Wetland Committee and in charge of our senior experience seniors this year. We have 6 of them from Ward and Ludlow. 2 of those are also involved in aquaculture school. And they will be with us helping us with our 7th grade estuary field trip, which they did today. Tomorrow's is getting rained out, so that's gonna have to get rescheduled. And then with our 2nd grade biodiversity trips, which are at Mill Hollow Open Space. And they're helping us out with those trips and also learning about conservation and other activities happening in Fairfield.
Okay,
Happy to have them.
well, thank them for doing the work that they're doing.
And one of their tasks is either to, I don't see any of them, well, some of them may be on Fair TV watching or YouTube watching it, not through Zoom, but will be to watch this meeting.
Okay. Well,
See how the
thank you
commission
for
works
what
and
you're
understand, how this is involved with running Fairfield.
Great.
And thank you all for all your work.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
waiting.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. See, I've said we're gonna discuss it, so I have to either watch the tape or be here in person, so. Otherwise, I won't know what's going on, but thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Anything else, commissioners?
So, an update on the rat project.
Yes.
We had, you may have noticed Patch had an article today about it. That's the 5th story now that's been written about it, around the state. We've had a little bit of coverage up in Hartford, and I think there was some in Norwalk as well. So Friends of Animals has, provided some input. Gabney was quoted. So I did my first, bait station check last Wednesday, and one of them was empty. So we've actually got some activity. They said it's gonna take a while because rats are actually very smart and they're very cautious. So they see something new, they stay away from it for a while, until they're sure it's okay. But the fact that we've already had some activity is very encouraging. Bear in mind, it's a scientific study that's gonna take a year. All right, everybody wants it to be successful, but I'm getting a little nervous about everybody being so enthusiastic about the potential that we're forgetting that we're tracking information and looking at what's actually happening. And, we'll know at the end of a year as to whether or not this works. And if it does, great. Everybody's been very enthusiastic. Bill Gerber sent a letter to MetroCog trying to see if any of the other towns in MetroCog would be interested in expanding the pilot beyond Fairfield. So he's a big fan of it as well. So just very pleased with the way the thing's going right now. And knock on wood, and hopefully we'll be able to save some birds.
I think people are enthusiastic because they're happy about it. I think
Yes.
there's not everybody wants to use blue track. I mean, there may be more people that are enthusiastic because they are out there.
I'll be really happy once they expand it to deer, which I call tall rats.
Well, that technology has existed for a long time, and that is in use in some places. It's already been tried and it's proven. It's just
For
that
deer?
it's pricey, yes. There,
Is
I
there no
I have
preference?
done some of that, because on a different interest, but that technology's been around for quite a while. The problem is it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And there's competition for managing the deer, and so that's some pressure there. I don't think you're gonna find that with the rats, but
You might have bycatch.
Well, I mean, the thing about the rat pilot, once they get started with the feed, once they go off of it, they go right back to where they were before. So it's forever. It's a forever program. Once they start eating that feed, you never stop. So great distribution model for the guys that are making it.
that's okay. I mean,
But
it's better than.
As long as we bring nature back into balance, that's a good thing
I'd
forever.
rather see money spent on that type of thing than on other, I know someone and the bait boxes are out there, and I think I sent you a picture where it was being habitated by, I would presume, a chipmunk. And it was really sad because someone was moving in, the animal wasn't, but was moving in, it was stuffed with leaves and storing acorns.
Yeah.
And you're just there like, this is what I call the non-target animals. And anything that we could get us away from this kill it mode I'm really enthusiastic about that.
So I just wanted to let everyone know it's going and it's going well. So.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, good job there. Anything else from any commissioners?
Good.
No?
Good hockey game tonight.
Yeah.
Good hockey game last night for you.
It was. That was impressive.